We're with Justin Walker, senior sprinter on the Northwestern State track and field team, who has qualified for the national championships next week in Eugene, Oregon in two events, the 100 and 200 meter dashes. Justin, first of all, congratulations on getting to the national meet and especially in two different events individually.
Oh, thank you. It's a blessing, really, and just a lot of hard work and dedication, really, to get to this point.
Now, you had been to the national meet last year, both as a contestant in the 100 meter dash and the 4x100 meter relay. So this is not a new experience for you, although it is a new venue, one of the great venues in track and field at the University of Oregon. Talk about what that national meet experience last year means for you now.
Well, last year was a new experience for me to go in two events and actually have an open event under my belt. And being in Oregon, it was a great learning experience. You know, they're a track town, so just being out there where they worship track as the #1 sport, it was a great feeling. So hopefully go back there and get the same embrace that we got last year.
Okay, I got mixed up and thought we were in Des Moines last year. That's how short-term my memory is. But yeah, that is truly a special place for your sport. Talk about the inspiration that an athlete gets from competing at Hayward Field.
Well, whenever we're in Oregon, people are always rooting for you. It doesn't matter what you have on your chest, doesn't matter where you're from. When you go out there and you do your best, people will actually respond to you. And even when you don't have the best of days, even if you get hurt or something like that, they'll still clap you in and all kinds of good stuff like that. So it's great to have a town that will embrace you like that, even when you're not from there.
Okay, and the idea of being in the top 24 in the country and being out there on the track with those other 23 competitors in that event, it's one thing to be ranked on a computer and know what everybody performed during the regular season, but I would imagine it's tremendously exciting to go to the track, work out, see those other athletes, and then get in the blocks and line up and compete against them. That's got to be a pretty big adrenaline rush.
Well, yeah, it's pretty fun. You know, I know a lot of those guys out there, so it's good to go out there and see them again and just go out there and compete, because, you know, everybody gets tired of just practicing every day. You want to line up and go all out against somebody.
Okay, let's talk about the two events individually. We'll start with the 100 meter dash, where you have the fastest time in collegiate track and field this year. At the regional championships, you didn't run as fast. You had an Achilles heel that was sore. Talk about the regional championships and how you overcame that sore Achilles heel and what you see happening up in Eugene in that event.
Well, in regionals, I did have a little setback, but we made some adjustments. We switched my blocks up, and I didn't have the races that I would like to have, but I'm still happy to be qualified for the 100 meter dash. So going into Eugene is going to be resting, getting my strength back, and hopefully going out there and doing something ridiculously fast.
Technically speaking, are there things that are keys for you in the race? Take us through the 100 meters and what has to happen.
Well, yeah, every race has to have some kind of technical aspect to it, and for me, my biggest area that I need to improve on would be the first 50. So it's going to be being fully pressed in the blocks, having a great reaction to the gun, and make sure I fire off, closing the gap quick, and just driving out and having a lot of arm movement. And if I can do that, I can do something great.
Okay. Are you, in this guy's race, do you get concerned at all about the opposition, or is it strictly internal what Justin does?
Well, no, because if you worry about what everybody else does, it's going to throw you off your race. So I don't really think about anybody else. I think about what I have to do that day to be that fast.
Okay, the 200, obviously twice as long, you're running curves. Talk about the differences in your approach and how to be successful in the 200.
Well, in my 200 approach, I usually have a better curve than I do straight. So it's going to be coming off the curve with enough steam to where I can hold it through the straight the whole time and not die down at the end. And it's different from the 100, because in the 100, it's really just you go all out. Once you stand up, it's all out. In the 200, you have to pick and choose when you make your moves and all that. So it's going to be picking my move at the right time, and that's when we'll actually have to judge based on the competition as well.
Okay. Is there an event, you say you like to run the curves, you run the curves better than maybe you run the straight, so is the 200 your best event, or would you say the 100 is based on the performances this year?
I would say they pretty much can go either way. You know, sometimes I like the 200 more than I like the 100 that day, but other days I like the 100 more than I like 200, so I can really switch them up. They're both pretty fun races to run.
Okay, when you think about where you've come from, a young man who had reconstructive knee surgery, that can be a career killer for an athlete in any sport, let alone a sprinter in track and field, to have come back not only last year to become an All-American on the relay and compete at the Nationals in the Open 100, now to be in the Open 100 and 200, and certainly you'd have to say to be one of the favorites in the 100. How can you put that into words as to what it means to you?
It means the world to me. I mean, God works in mysterious ways, and I just took my knee surgery as a test and just kept my faith and kept working, and it paid dividends for me.
Okay, talk about wearing that Northwestern on your chest and what it means to represent your team, your coaches, your school.
Well, yeah, I was sad that our relay couldn't quite make it, but if I can go out there and do what I'm supposed to do, I can put a good image out for everybody at Northwestern State, and to represent them is an honor, so I would just love to go out there and run.
What are your personal expectations for what unfolds next week? What are your goals? What are your expectations?
Well, hopefully I can run somewhere in the 9s for the 100, and if I'm healthy enough for the 2, I want to either go 20.1, 20 point lower, 19 high, so those are my goals.
Do you think it will take that to win?
Definitely. There are a lot of strong competitors out there, and I'm going to have to bring my A game if I want to come out victorious.
Yeah. So it's about doing your best, first of all, in track and field, and like you say, you can't control what the other folks do. But do you envision yourself standing up there at the top of the podium?
Oh, definitely. If you don't envision yourself at the top, how are you going to get there?
Okay. East Coast, you were waiting in the Atlantic Ocean last week. West Coast, next week, Eugene, Oregon, the Pacific Ocean. What about that cross-continental travel?
It's going to be a lot, but it's going to be having to stay hydrated and stay focused. And I can have fun after all the races are said and done, but before then, it's all business.
How much of a spectator will you be when you're not competing and when your competition is finished, taking in some of the other track and field out there?
Oh, I'll definitely be watching. I love watching track and field, and there's a lot more exciting racing than just the 100 and 200. You still have relays, and you still have other sprints, and then you have throws and all those type of things. So I'll definitely be watching.
All right. Now, I understand you're not a guy who loves to fly.
No.
So you're going to have to fly a long way to Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, I'll probably be asleep the whole flight. That's usually what I do. Just stay up all night, and then when I get on that plane, just go to sleep.
No movies, no special tricks or anything, just...
Nope, just go to sleep.
All right. Well, dream of good things and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right.